Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. Welcome to another episode of Freedom Fridays. So happy that you're here because we're in store for an amazing treat. We have an awesome special guest who's going to be sharing with us about success beyond profit, building a business and life aligned with your purpose. Before I introduce him, and I want to let you know what is the purpose? What's the purpose of the show? The purpose of the Freedom Friday show is to support you as an entrepreneur in achieving your success in business and life harmony, because it really is two sides of the same coin. We never want to get so busy making a living that we forget to make a life. And it is possible to work smarter, stress less, strengthen our relationships, and lead with much more energy, ease, and momentum so that we can increase our calm, our confidence, and our cash flow. Yay! How many of y'all want more of that? Yes, yes, yes. Please give a warm welcome to our special guest, Robert Ndoping. Hi, Robert. So happy that you're here with us today.
Hi, Dr. Heather. I'm glad to be here with you today.
Yay! I'm so glad. I cannot wait to hear your wisdom. This is something that is a big, big, big deal for so many of us, especially in this time. We need more business and life harmony and even more success beyond profit. So let me let them know who you are. So Robert Adopting is the systems performance designer, leadership strategist, and a two-time multi-international best-selling author who helps mission driven leaders stop spinning their wheels and start scaling their impact. As a founder and CEO of Ndoping and Company Performance Consultants, he has facilitated over 300 workshops helping executives, nonprofits, and institutions turn vision into systems that deliver real results. He serves as a board director with the United Nations Association in Canada and as a board chair and fractional COO of Third Academy, a behavioral readiness platform. With training from London University and the Rotman School of Management, he brings a global systems based lens to leadership in complex environments. At the heart of his work is a simple conviction that leadership is the most powerful when it's aligned with purpose, and when that leaders are and what leaders do is in lockstep with why they do it. He is also the host of an amazing podcast called The Voice of Impact, where he sits down with changemakers shaping transformational impact around the world. Oh my goodness, Robert, what an amazing journey that you have had. Thank you so much for your service to the world. We are absolutely honored and grateful that you are here with us today.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So my first question, we're talking about success beyond profit, building a business and life aligned with your purpose. Can you share with us why is this topic something that's so important, especially for us as entrepreneurs?
Thank you so much, Dr. Heather. Life is a journey. People have their journeys from different angles. For me, I was in corporate for several years. And part of the time, I was also in nonprofit leadership for a couple of years. And my journey was mostly chasing money in the beginning. As a young professional, I just wanted money. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to grow. I wanted to develop in my career. And also, I wanted much money in my bank account. But I hit a wall when every time I worked hard, I just realized there was something missing. Yes, there was money. I had a very comfortable corporate job that paid me really well. At one point, I had more than two jobs, which one I was consulting for on the side, and the other I was working full time. And then I moved from that into nonprofit leadership. I felt a lot was happening and there was money in it, but there was still something missing. I felt there was an alignment that wasn't there. And I kept asking myself the question is that if I make all of this money in the end, how fulfilled am I as a person? I really needed some grounding. It's almost like building a house. If you start building a house from the top to bottom, it's obvious that it's not going to last for long. You and I can agree on that. A house needs a foundation, and that foundation is what do you set for that house to really stand strong on? For me, that's what I call purpose because I had to go back and search. Why am I even here? Is it just to make money, build a family, and then leave someday? What's a legacy am I building? What am I going to leave behind? Which means, yes, I want to make money, a lot of it. But I don't just want to make money for money's sake. I want to make money that generates, that builds, but that has a lasting impact on something that I was created for and that I was built for. I think that's what led me into my purpose. And that's what led me into business. And the things I do right now is that I realized most of those things I was doing them, but I didn't have a foundation. So I had to go back, build a structure, build a foundation as to what I wanted to do that was aligned with my purpose. And those of you who believe in spirituality, I had to look back to my own source, which was God, and really look at where am I coming from and why am I building some of these things. And that's what led me into the direction that now, I mean, I enjoy talking about purpose because it's aligned with my business, it's aligned with my model that I built personally.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. You know, you mentioned the beauty of legacy, right? That purpose, which creates that lasting foundation that will live on even beyond our time here on earth. And I love that you also mentioned a foundation. It reminded me of this scripture in the Bible, Mark 3:25, which my company is one of our core verses, that if a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand, right? So being able to create, bring that purpose and the passion and the prosperity all together is something that's so powerful. And, you know, I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs went into this journey to create a legacy, to build a lot of things. What are some of the challenges, even some that you've encountered, but also some that you've seen um, from others that actually get in the way of the success beyond profit?
I mean, there are a couple of challenges that I have seen, especially in the work I do. I mean, most entrepreneurs would, you want to strategize. You want to build a very solid foundation for a business and you want to go forward. You want to make a lot of money. All of us want to. Anybody who says they don't want to, then why are you in business? Right? You want to make a lot of money. But you haven't looked around to be able to understand why are you doing all of that? Because once the why is stronger, then the how becomes easier. Why are you doing all of that? Is it just for money? I don't think so. Yes, money is just a byproduct of what you do. But why are you doing all of that? That's for me, that's the entry point of purpose. Because when you realize why you're doing some things, yes, you want to solve problems. Yes, you want to create a couple of things. But why are you doing all of that? That's a foundation. Then the how comes in. How do you do it? Then it shapes the way you do it in such perfection because there's an alignment of all of that. For me, that's where I've seen a disconnect.
Oh, that's so good. You know, it's interesting. When teach and certify coaches, life harmony coaches, and one of the things I tell them is like a almost like a next step, like right away, immediate step is to write down and connect to and remember your why. Because when the road gets bumpy, and a lot of times it will, we want to be able to remember why we're doing that. When we lose that why, it actually creates that wobbly foundation when we're called to have a really solid foundation. So I appreciate you reminding us of that, especially not only just writing it down, but even reconnecting to it. Oh my goodness. A lot of times we forget that we even wrote it down or that we put it, you know, that we have this why, but reconnecting to that creates more of a solid foundation and doing what you're doing, and the how magically unfolds in the right way.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so good. So good. Okay, so tell us, Robert, what are some tips and strategies that you have learned on your journey that can support us in being able to do that and to be able to create this success beyond profit and building this business and a life aligned with our purpose?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of them. I think I just stopped, got to the tip of the iceberg there. It's really searching for the why. And I think you really brought in that lens as to, that training that you do as well. But I mean, that's a starting point. It's an entry point. Is, you need to search for a why. One, you need to look for, what structure you're building. Lots of entrepreneurs, we go into business. Let's say we're working for someone And the next moment, we decide to create our own, and more or less we become an employee in our business. We don't even realize that, but we're actually an employee because we put in 24 hours a day, round the clock, and you're running the wheel so much so that you're burning out. But you have not created a structure on the foundation as to why am I doing this? And once that's set, is to what direction am I even taking? How do I really execute my business? And then you start looking at those models, those what we call strategy. And then you start looking at your capacity, how you expand some of that. Then you start looking at your stability. That's part of a model I built for, which is internal to Ndoping and Co. Is we work on one structure, we work on strategy, we work on capacity, then we work on stability. Because most models will enter into strategy, which is normal, or capacity, which is normal because that's for bigger business that are established. But let's say you're a solopreneur, you're an entrepreneur, you want to look at your structure. Your structure goes back into the why. Why are you
Mhm.
building a lot of this? And it touches a lot of angles as to how do you put this together to be able to strategize it? And then how do you build your capacity? One, your business is not just you. Your business is the legacy you build. Your business is other people that are involved in. You establish some of that, and then now you can move into part of that stability, which is the end goal of what you want to be, which is what you want to be, what you want to call sustainability, how you keep that sustainable. So if you link all of that, it goes back to purpose, because the purpose is your structure, it's your
Mm.
foundation, it's what you build. And once you put that together, it's like a mold that you form. And you look at how beautiful it grows. Yes, there's going to be times that it's going to get broken here, which needs to be fixed. But once that why was solid enough, it's always easy to be able to put that mold back together. Look at what has gone wrong, shape it, mold it, and everybody is part of it, because once that why was solid enough, everybody aligns with the why. The how, everybody builds on it, and it becomes something beautiful that you can use and that you can leave even for future generations.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible because it is that like where we create this solid foundation, this solid stability in our purpose, in our why to create that structure. And I even see it sometimes could be like a cyclic process as you're going on the journey. There's more pieces that unfold that cause us to shift how that structure is. But the one thing that really struck out to me was that it's this part of when you are um when you're connected to that purpose, when you actually are able to operate in more passion with what you're doing, you're able to have and create your support system to be able to support you in actually building and growing and expanding. A lot of times as solopreneurs, we try to do everything ourselves. And we want to be able to break free from that. So therefore, it's actually building and growing a legacy and creating such an amazing solid foundation to stand on.
Yes, yes,
Oh, that's
yes.
so good. Okay. Okay. So we talked about connecting to the why. We talked about creating that structure and letting that structure really come from the why and what's going to create that stability. Anything else? What else comes to mind that can support us in moving forward to being able to create that business and life aligned with our purpose?
Yeah, I think I would always advise entrepreneurs and solopreneurs to think deeper and think within yourself. I mean, most of the things you do are already aligned with your purpose. And sometimes you might have to take some time for yourself to be able to really think. I mean, your business might already be ongoing, but take some time to sit back and look at the whole business. Think a little bit deeper and imagine that business that is existing when you're no longer here. Well, imagine you're 100 years old and you've handed that business over to maybe your child, or you sold it. And imagine how that business will look like in your absence
Mm.
when you're no longer there. And that's the root of that foundation that you planted. I mean, we have businesses that are existing today, which the founders are not there, but they are still very strong. They're leaving a message even right up to date. Imagine your business to be one of those where you created it and then you left it. Let's say, for example, McDonald's. Let's say you were, the McDonald's founder, and how you shaped that business, what you wanted to leave for that business. And right now, let's say you're still alive and you're watching that business. How would that business look like?
Wow.
What are the
That is
foundations that you lay for that business that you want to see even 100 years, 200 years?
That's amazing because, a lot of times, especially we're so focused on the day to day. And I think about what Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. But it's almost like having that part of really being able to not just vision it, but feel it, embody it, and just know. Um, and it also helps us recognize that it doesn't have to be just us, right? Like the legacy continues even beyond. So having that rooted not only in our purpose, but also that solidity and where we're going, oh my goodness, then we can actually know who we are and enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, that's so amazing. Oh, Robert, thank you so much. Anything else? Anything else come to mind that from the heart that you want to be able to share about how we can be able to go into this? Well, I guess there's a question that's coming is with this structure that you're talking about and with this process, what will that do for us as an entrepreneur as we're even going as we're um overall and as we're going into our future?
I mean, there are a couple of things that
Okay.
come to. I mean, running a business is not easy. I mean, it's difficult. Um, and I mean, sometimes people have given up. I mean, how many entrepreneurs have started a business and left it? Simply because it's time consuming. It can take a toll on your health. It can even take a toll on your family. It can take a toll on so many things. And that's why the structure really matters, because once you structure your business well enough, one, it helps you as an entrepreneur because you built a structure that can also live without you. For example, you can take time off with family, you can take time off and spend for the things you like, but that business will still exist because, like we talked about foundation, you build a foundation. And part of what we do as a business is we work with you to build a structure. And that structure is what you want. That structure is what you have envisaged. And that's why when the purpose is not strong enough, even the structure itself will be wobbly. Because then it's a lot of the times it's mostly just built for money or for scaling or for to gain the output. But once the structure is built enough, like we talked about legacy, we talked about existing at you're looking at it at the end of it, not even at the beginning. Once that structure is well built, it helps you as an entrepreneur to train other people, to build other people that are going to be part of that business long term. It helps you to scale in a better way than you would have
Mm.
scaled if you just went into start the strategy, put in the hours, all of that. Once the structure is well established, everything else grows from there. The structure is what I personally call the foundation of every business. So even if the business is existing, if the structure wasn't strong enough, then there's a likeliness that there will always be some cracks here and there because they go back into mending things which they would have built right from the onset. And so it's always good to go back, look at your structure. How was your structure? And is it still aligned with where your business is today? Because sometimes
Mm.
the business grows and even the structure itself could not carry. Just imagine a building. You decide to add 10 floors on top of a building that was built for just 2 floors.
Mm.
Imagine how that structure might look like. The structure might not be the same. It might not carry
No,
that
not
business.
at all. I don't think I want to go in that building.
Exactly. So there is a problem. So you might want to look at the structure that you set up even when you started a business, because that structure might not outlive the business. There might be time you have to go back and
Mm.
look at that structure and say, maybe this is time we readjust, we rebalance, we put a few things in place. We'll put some stronger pillars to be able to handle this business building because it's growing big and we need it to be sustainable and we need it to, let's say, last for hundreds of years. Or we need to plan this business to sell it, to exit it. You need to plan it well. And all of that still goes back to that structure, which I'm talking about.
Wow, this is something that's so powerful because I think about it like, where it's creating that solid structure where it can be able to expand and grow and bloom, not where it's like, okay, it's expanding, wait a minute, it's wobbly, like I gotta pull back, right? Like it's like instead of having that expansion and then, oh no, this is getting big, like come back down. It's just creating that continuous expansion with much more ease, grace, and flow in this modality that you're talking about. Like I think I also almost think about it like a tree doesn't or a flower doesn't come up and then like, oh my goodness, this is too much. And let me go back down in the dirt. No, it's like taking that time to be able to embrace each step. Right. And I love that you mentioned earlier you want to take that time to be able to sit and have this awareness of where you're going and take that step back and see how the structure is, what needs to shift. That is something that's so powerful. It's almost like when several entrepreneurs come from the employee world, right? And we're working so hard for someone else. And then we get in the business and we're like an employee for the business and we're working so hard for that. But it's hard to be able to see the forest through the trees and the big picture, remembering the big picture and not getting so caught up in the details, but have that fluidity to be able to have harmony with both.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
How can we continue this journey with you? Do you have like how can we do you have like a free gift or something that you can be able to share for our audience so they can continue the journey with you?
Yes, I have a free gift on my website, which you can connect with me for 45 minutes for free, just to be able to one get a diagnosis. You want to be able to understand the structure of your business. You want to be able to understand the model that you're working on. Our model is structure, strategy, capacity, and stability. We come in with the structure because one of the things we do is we want to be able to understand your business. It might still be a business where it's not yet time for us to work with you. We'll be more than happy to give you the guidance and advice for you to be able to do a few things without even working with you. It might be at a place where we might have recommendations as to where we could come in. And so we offer that free 45 minutes diagnosis test with you. Just go on our website, be able to fill a simple form, and we'll be able to connect with you and look at opportunities that we could support you to be able to one help you build your structure, and maybe you just want to have a chat about how your purpose is aligned with your business. We'll be more than happy to be able to walk through a few things with you for free, and that's our free gift to you.
Wow, Robert, what a gift. What a valuable gift for sure. Thank you so much for being able to offer that to us. And we'll put that link in the show notes but definitely click on the link so therefore you can take advantage of this amazing gift that Robert is offering us today. That's incredible. That's incredible. A lot of times, it's so important to be able to, what is it, like empty out, to be able to share and express what that purpose is and that why is. And I'm sure that every conversation that you have is a fuel for even greater growth and stability and structure. So thank you for your service to the world with this. What, based on everything that you shared with us, what would be the biggest takeaway that you want to leave us with today?
I think the biggest takeaway that I want to leave is mostly still going back to the basics that we started. When the why is strong enough, then the how becomes easy. So look at
Mm,
your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? If it's not strong enough, then you might want to look at the structure of what you're doing. Or you want to go back to the original structure you built and imagine, can you be able to diagnose and see how you've grown and where you could fix that so that it can carry you to do your how very easy on a day-to-day basis.
oh,
And
I
like I
love
said,
it.
if at all you need support with that, we have a free gift for you to be able to just help you figure out that process. If we can work together, that's fine. If we can just give you some guidance to go along, that's still fine.
Oh my goodness, Robert. Thank you so much for being able to share that with us. What an amazing golden nugget. If the why is solid, then the how becomes easy. And that's what we're called for, ladies and gentlemen, ease, grace, and flow. So, everyone in Another Level Living Land, I want you to put what is your biggest takeaway from our message here today? Go ahead and put that in the comments below. We can't wait to hear your wisdom too. And if you were inspired by this message, which I know that you were, go ahead and share this episode out and give someone else this gift of success beyond profit. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence today, Robert. This has been an absolute amazing conversation, and thank you for all that you do.
So my pleasure, and thank you for your listeners as well.
Oh, my pleasure. All right, everyone, let this message marinate into your mind, body, and soul all from this point on and beyond all weekend. Make sure you take advantage of Robert's amazing gift and click on that link in the comments below. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next week for another episode of Freedom Fridays. Bye, everyone.